Welcome to the San Francisco Center for Spiritual Living. You are right where you should be, right here, right now. And as we start this service, we are knowing that there is one Spirit, one God, one power behind all things, and we are of it. That power is circulating throughout this sacred sanctuary right now, radiating in and through and outward, opening itself up and expressing divine wisdom and bringing this service into motion and allowing a sacred communion of love to happen right here and right now as it expresses its divine self. And so it is.
And so it is. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace that I have, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world can't take it away. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The
So hello, my name is Cindy. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here, and I will be assisting with service today. I will be doing our reading this morning, and before I start, I just want to share today's theme is the path of vulnerability. And I'm just going to read to you a little piece from the Science of Mind textbook that can be found on page 444. It is through the revelation of the self to the self that one understands life, that one approaches the power which is at the heart of God. And that, again, can be found in the textbook. And before I do the reading from the Science of Mind magazine, just a little bit about vulnerability. Vulnerability is allowing that release of pride and the dropping of the masks that we wear so that our true, authentic self can come forward and dissolve any mental barriers that we have in allowing God to express its highest and best goods through us. So vulnerability is definitely a pathway to higher self. So this is from the Science of Mind magazine for today. And it says, connection builds peace. And we have a quote, and I can't, Jiddu Krishnamurti, I'm probably not saying that right. But here's the quote, as long as we divide the world as you and me, conflict will continue. In the understanding of our shared humanity, peace begins. And that quote just reminds me of when the astronauts from Integrity returned. I forgot which one said, but he just was talking about how Earth is just one place, and we are all the crew on Earth. And so there's that oneness. When you look at Earth from space, there are no boundaries. There are no lines drawn. It is all one. And this is from the Science of Mind magazine, page 404. Fear is the belief in limitation, a denial that the divine is the center and source of all good. We must do all in our power to overcome it. Perfect love cast out fear. That is confidence overcomes the depression of doubt. And so here's our reading for today. Wherever there is division, conflict slowly begins to swell. Therefore, conflict is the effect of division. In this time on planet Earth, it doesn't take too much energy to witness division. We see it in religion, in nations, and borders. We see it in politics, even in the communities where we live. Some of these divisions create minimal issues, and others are the source of war, atrocities, genocide, and unimaginable levels of suffering. Yet all of them stem from the concept of division. We are equipped with a consciousness, a mind that can create nearly anything. It can create harmony, peace, love, opportunity, connection, and abundance. And we've been taught to use it often unconsciously to create and perpetuate division. I want to be clear. I am talking about the world we are in. We can bypass this and solely talk about the universal oneness of all, and that it is important. But we must use this idea of oneness to bring peace to the experience of now. How do we then rid the world of conflict? Simple. The answer is unity. Yes, we may be in different parts of the world. We may have been taught different philosophies, but we are all human, connected by God. Let us all find unity with those we see as different and watch as division turns into connection, and connection builds peace. So just take that in for a minute. Unity seems to be the defining word right now. not seeing those lines drawn in the sand, not partaking in the conflict or the differences, but acceptance and being of the oneness. And here's our affirmation for today. I am a unifier. I dissolve division by moving with a consciousness of unity. So let's say this together, and I'll say it in chunks. I am a unifier. I dissolve division.
I dissolve division
by moving with
a
a consciousness of unity.
consciousness of unity.
Let's say that one more time together. I am a unifier. I dissolve division by moving with a consciousness of unity. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, in the water theme we're having, I thought I'd sing this song. The rain was amazing last few days. For those of you who appreciate rain. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. The joy wash over us. We let the peace wash over us. We let the love wash over us. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Thank you. Wow. Beautiful song, chant.
And at the end there, I was singing, I let it wash over me.
Yes, that's good too. I could say I and you and we all the same. I think you're.
It's good for us that we're a group saying
I think you're turned off. I don't know if anyone saw rainbows this morning, but it's such a beautiful thing. When I drove to, it was like the rain. Wow, what's that?
solid green.
And you're on.
I'm on here, solid green. So it's over there. Oh boy, what a day, what a week, what a month, what a past few months. Oh my God, my friend, God rest her soul, Opalonga, mother of my first child. She used to have an expression. She would say, John, it is starting to get toasty up here, so hope y'all are warm down there. Okay. So she would use an expression. She would say, "It's a campaign." You know, she didn't want to say things weren't going well. You know, and how you say, "How you doing?" Her answer was always, "It's a campaign." So I'm going. It's not over yet. I'm still in here. It's like, you know, this is what we're doing. And so it's not even about how is it going. It's going. That's the main thing. If it's going at any rate at all, it's going good. Because you're still in motion, yes? Am I in the right room? Yes. Okay, I'm just checking. Maybe we should start with the affirmation. What's that, John?
It's not working. I checked the battery.
Really? You might have a problem with that system. This says green. It's coming to front.
Can't believe everything.
acceptance mode of a workable PA system. You think they don't get used very much, they shouldn't wear out, but they do. Yeah, that's definitely, I can hear the difference now. Hell. I can hear better and see better at the same time. Oh my goodness, this microphone is really something special. I could probably sell this on TikTok and make a lot of money. Oh my goodness. And so all this is about what our first affirmation we do every week. Please repeat after me. Never doubt, that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can make a difference in the world. Indeed, that's all that ever has. I'm a difference maker. I make a difference. I am the difference. Indeed, each of us is the difference, where each of us is part of that committed citizenry. And the citizens of the Most High indwelling and self-existent one, citizens of the idea that you just admitted yourself, of a difference maker consciousness. And it's very important. It's like, the times have called me out. This talk today, the talks in the last few months, I've been going through stuff. I realized I'm grieving, but I didn't know I was grieving, because as a man I've learned how to compartmentalize stuff, and I didn't know that this grief was a grief that had those kind of hooks in me. My nephew died a year or so ago, but I raised him like a son, And so I was treating the event like he was my nephew, but that's still special. But it just occurred to me last night, dude, your son died, and you're not honoring your son. And that's why you're so messed up. Everything's going to pot. You're not. You're incoherent with your consciousness. You're not in alignment with yourself. Are you feeling me so far? Sometimes you don't know. What was that song Aretha Franklin said? I didn't know what was wrong with me. Sometimes we don't know. And as a guy, we're trained and conditioned to not know, because feeling is a sign of weakness. It's just the ultra macho trip. Some of us escaped. Some of us graduated from that. Some of us, are still stuck in that. I don't know why I brought that up. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I tell you I'm discombobulated, but I know what this talking. Yeah, I'm feeling discombobulated. You know what, Dr. Jeff? Hold on. Today's talk has got me going because, and it's been like this for several weeks now, but this talk is about hiding. And I am a master hider. We hide, we learn to hide as a fear response, as a trauma adaptation. They say fear is flight, freeze, and there's a fourth one been added to it recently called fawning, meaning you get obsequious. You just try to appease whatever the threat is, and maybe it won't harm you. I remember practicing being asleep. I was actually playing dead. I just figured, well, if you're already dead, nobody's going to kill you. That's how messed up my consciousness was as a child. I learned to hide because it wasn't safe to be seen. I'm so good at hiding. It's a horrible thing to be good at. It's the worst gift you can have. Because you cannot, this is condensed. 73 years of hiding. It's been condensed into this. I can help you with this right here. You cannot be great and hide at the same time. You cannot have the life of your dreams and hide at the same time. You can't even be happy and hide at the same time. Hiding only gives us one thing. Glory to God. Hiding gives us the gift of invisibility. Now, invisibility is a spiritual quality. Because it's the art and practice of disappearing from the self that I believe I am and dissolving into my true self. Are you with me so far? So don't think that invisibility is a master stroke. My download when it came, it was like the art and practice of disappearing. I said, God, who the hell wants to learn how to disappear? And sometimes what we need and what we want are two different things. But we have to stop being who we have been. The times we're in right now require us to evolve into our grander, most authentic self. Now, maybe those are the times that are always present, but I have been awakened during this time. I've been living on this planet for a long time and not been this engaged because it just was not mine to do. And I had a wisdom that said, there's going to be something for me to do, and I need to be ready to go do that. Well, I'm not trying to do this, people. It's my turn. And they handed me the baton. Okay, this is my leg of the race to run, and I can't get out of it because I like hiding. But I don't like being unseen. And there's a difference between being invisible. Lord, glory to God, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. There's a difference between being invisible and being unseen. Invisibility is a choice. It's a practice. It's a strategy. It's a consciousness. Being unseen is a perpetual pain of being unacknowledged and unloved. Because we cannot feel loved if we feel unacknowledged. And if we're not feeling loved, then that's when we get that sense of despair, that's when all the things that we go to the psychiatrist about later on in life happen. So how do we do this to be seen? To be seen requires us to, I'll just go back right here. We've been taught to protect ourselves, and for a good reason. But what if what protected us may now be preventing us? What if the thing that protected us, and this was really, I got this image when I first found the philosophy. I realized I had been adrift in an ocean, holding on to a piece of driftwood. And that driftwood eventually washed me up on a beach. I survived. The wood saved me. Are you with me so far? But now I have to find food. I need fresh water. I have to go into the interior and find these things. But I have this huge piece of wood that saved my life. And I'm not letting it go because it saved me. I might need it again. This saved my life. I'm carrying this around. It makes sense, right? This is what we collect in our consciousness of separation, because we keep thinking different things are saving our lives when we don't. Oh my God. We never understand that our lives are never at stake. We're eternal beings. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. That's what it says in our what we believe statement. But when we believe this, we have to also know that in that belief, the idea that we can die or that we've ever been born has to stop. Because now we're governing our lives by the idea that I have a beginning and an end, and I only got so much time to get it done, and if the time runs up, then I'm a failure. So now we have the concept of failure, and that, are you following me so far? But when we know, and we know that we know, death's off the table. I know my body's going to leave here. Or maybe it's not going to leave here. My body's going to stay here. But as Rumi said, my soul is from elsewhere. I'm sure of that. My soul remains. My soul has work to do. Each of us has a soul with work to do. We have a job, we have a mission, we have an avocation, we have a practice, we have a purpose. We didn't come here without one. Not the people in this room. You wouldn't even be here today if you didn't know what I already know. But we haven't been seen. Who feels seen? Okay, good. You feel seen. That's beautiful. This is advanced. I'm going to have to push up my conscience. You guys are elevating me. Because if y'all feel seen, then I must be seen too. So what that means is I got to let go of all my little self that says I'm not being seen. All those places I used to hide out in, I'm not being seen. They don't appreciate me, so I don't have to come forward. Are you feeling me on that? See, if I'm being seen, then that means I have to be fully present because they already see me. The only time to hide is if they don't see you yet. But once we're seen, we can't be unseen. And we're only seen, sometimes people recognize us before we recognize ourselves. But when the recognition comes, work with that. What's the line say? Don't go back to sleep. These are the times that try our souls, people. This is what we signed up for, to be a difference maker. It can't be a more exciting time than what we got right now. It can't be a more important time than it has right now. And when we know what we know, when we know who we are, when we know the one that flows through us, we bristle with the anticipation of being able to be who we are. Because the opportunity to slink into a place that's safe and hiding, we can go into rage. That's a great place to hide because you're always right when you're mad. You know? And you can always find people who don't even necessarily, don't have to be bad about what you're mad about, but angry people tend to find places where they can gather. They go to bars. You can still be angry there. A lot of people are angry when they're telling you what they're mad about. Everybody believes your story. You believe their story. Those are the rules we play by. You know? Competitive sports. Some people are angry. They get out into nature, and that's how they release it out there. Great place to hide. Don't have... Fear is excellent. I hope they don't see me. I hope they don't call me. I hope they don't. We're not applying the greatness that we are. And there's only one way to do that. The frustrated musician jumped into a cab in New York City and he said, "How do I get to Carnegie Hall?" Well, the cab driver was also a frustrated musician. And his response was, practice, practice, practice. And that's how we do this, people. We have to practice. You know, doctors practice medicine. They don't do medicine. They realize I'm still learning this thing. Lawyers practice law. We are practicing consciousness. When I was a first year ministerial school, we were all puffed up, you know. We finally made it to ministerial school, you know. We're trying to be humble, but, you know, it takes a certain amount of ego to get that far. Ego's not bad. It's just, it's not running things. You can't leave him in charge. You know, he's like the sorcerer's apprentice. So one of the things we came up with the first semester was this, and I always like this, is because a practicing master is like somebody who's advanced and they're still in the practicing mode. And so we would always say, I may not be a practicing master. I'm not that exalted yet. I'm not a practicing master. But I am a master practicing. Each of us. I see guys say, yeah, that's right, I'm a master practicing. Somebody finally recognizes that. It's the truth. We're all masters here. We're all masters. We're all apprentices. We're all novices. We're all masters. Because we're all at every stage of development. Sequence is another illusion. We have sequence because we believe in time. We believe in time because we've been born and we're going to die. But once you remove those things, then sequence is irrelevant. Yes? Now it's not necessarily cause and then effect. What if cause and effect are the exact same thing? They don't happen after one another. What if they're not sequential? What if life isn't sequential? What if I don't have to do things to get things? What if I have to be something to get something? What if it's about what I am instead of what I'm doing? What if it's what I believe about myself instead of what I believe about the world? What if what I believe about the world is a mirror about what I believe about myself? What do I do then? I have to practice on myself. I'm performing surgery on myself in real time with real consequences. Are you feeling me so far with this? Real time, people. It looks like, and I'm hearing Kipling now, if you can keep your head when all about you others are losing theirs and blaming it on you, that's what's happening to us all.
People are losing their heads all around us and blaming somebody else. Either your team is blaming them, their team is blaming you, both teams are blaming somebody else. Blame is another trap you can get a place to hide. As long as I'm blaming other people, other things, I don't have to be responsible for where I'm at. Where I am, where I'm at, you know what I'm saying. If I have blame, shame is another hideout. There's only one place that's not a hiding place, and that's in the I am consciousness. Because the I am is affirmation of my own being. And I have to listen to what I'm saying about myself. I'm trying never to say I'm hungry. I have hunger. It's not my state. It's not what I came here to be, hungry. In different languages, that's how it goes. But in English, no, that's who you are. You're hungry. No, you're angry. You just say, no, that's who you are. And so we have a tendency to identify because we don't have the verbiage to explain, I'm going through this. I'm going through the valley of the shadow of death. I'm not the valley of the shadow of death. That's not who I am. That's not my life. That's not my experience. That's not what I have to look forward to. That's not why I get up in the morning. So what do I get up in the morning to? To be the blessing for all of lifetime. Because that's what I came here to be. That's what I came here to do. That's what each of us came here to do. Only blessing people are in this room right now. Because that's the message that's being delivered here. And something in you knows that already and sought like-minded people to find community, because just like we can commiserate in misery and rage, we can commiserate in joy and love and peace. And the more we bring that together, the more powerful it becomes. And we have family. Sometimes, I remember growing up, when I was a very young man, Peter Tosh, a reggae, you guys might not know Peter Tosh, but he had, no, not Peter Tosh, that was my other theme song. I had two horrible theme songs. One of them was, you don't need to know that one, but the one that's relevant for this, home is where the needle marks tried to mend my broken heart, and it might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. Gil Scott Heron. Home is where the hatred is. Home is where I live inside. And it might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. But see, the place of my trauma was never my home. That was a place I was passing through. I don't live there anymore. The only reason it can still bother me is if I'm dragging it behind me. Oh yes, glory to God. Like that piece of driftwood that kept me afloat in the ocean. It saved my life. I have practices I've adapted. I was talking to one of my therapists the other day, and I believe therapy is a wonderful, wonderful technology. And she was listening, and she says, so what other, I'm talking about my traumatic experiences, which are vast and glorious. Thank you very much. She looked at me and she said, so what other adaptive strategies do you have that are no longer serving you? Adaptive strategies that are no longer serving me. Wow. That kind of takes all the edge off trauma. You know? It's no longer a trauma, what's they call it, a trauma, yeah, it's not a trauma response. Stop labeling it that. It's an adaptive strategy. And it worked. It worked. And that's why we did it. It might not have worked very well, but it worked good enough for us to grow up and become adults and get on. Yes? But it's not serving us anymore, you see? It's getting tangled up in the underbrush. We can't get to fresh water. What if I never needed the driftwood in the first place? What if the ocean wasn't my enemy? What if surrender is not defeat? What if surrender is letting go of the illusion of control? That I am in charge, I must be in charge, and if I'm not in charge, then something horrible is going to happen. Because see, the ego, which is what we're working with here most of the time, in an old church they call it the devil, but the ego does not fear defeat. It's not scared of defeat at all. If it was scared of defeat, it wouldn't keep charging into stuff thinking it was in charge. Okay? It's not scared to lose. Okay? It ain't scared. No, no, no. Not of losing. What it's afraid of is being seen, of being exposed, of being revealed. Because the ego is the part that's pumping us up because of our vulnerability that we feel. And the ego's like being vulnerable. Man, my sister, I'm walking around in circles here, but my sister had a fish tank. You want to talk about some vulnerability? And one of the things in that tank was this little lobster. And that lobster, she had lobster, it was getting along with everybody until it was time to molt. When it's time to molt, it realized it was going to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means unsafe. It means exposed. Unsafe means my ego's not running the show. That's what unsafe means. What's unsafe mean? It wants safety. It wants certainty. It wants control. But if God is the only power in my life, then what am I trying to control? What kind of control do I really have? The only control I have, and I love this, I got this my first year of study, it came to me and said, you know what, the only debt you really have to pay in consciousness is attention. We must pay attention. If we pay attention, everything else resolves. If we pay attention to who we are, yes? If I can remember who I am during times of stress, when I'm watching all the stuff online, all the bombs, all the stuff happening in Washington, all the stuff happening around the world that looks bad. Because guess what, people? We have a negativity bias that remembers the negative 5 times more than the positive. Well, what that's done is created something we call news that's projecting 5 times more negativity than it is positively. And I do believe the ratio is probably exponentially higher than that. And so this looks like reality. We keep placing ourselves in the reality that appears to be out there, and the message is be afraid, be very afraid, be angry, be very afraid. Anger and fear are natural responses in my beingness, and so they're being stimulated, overstimulated, to the points where my system wants to shut down because it's being overwhelmed. And when I say my system is being overwhelmed, it's not my system. It's my egoic state of being that believes I'm not ever supposed to be overwhelmed. To the ego, being overwhelmed is dying, is death. But to the spirit, being overwhelmed is the opportunity to get out of the way. As Emerson said, let the bloated nothingness get out of the way of the divine circuit. I get out of the way, let go and let God. I let the presence of the divine that indwells all beingness lead, guide, and direct my life. I am led, guided, and directed. I don't really want to do anything that I'm not being led to do, guided to do, being directed to do. Am I supposed to do this? Is this what I should be doing? Constantly talking to myself like a ship captain in an airliner or a great boat. It tacks back and forth. It can't go in a straight line. It's always doing course corrections to go in the general direction. And life is about course corrections, about adaptability. And if I realize I'm off course, I correct. I'm not wrong. I'm not bad. Nobody has to be wrong. If you still have villains and big bad wolves in your life, it's time to work on the ego that says, I am not stronger than this. The only reason we still have villains in our lives is because we don't believe we're capable of being greater than the villain. I'm not threatened by the rage of a 3-year-old. It's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. It might intimidate me. I'm not saying I'm not intimidated. A newborn will intimidate you, okay? When it's crying for food, you're going to find that food. So it's not about, but it's like, I'm not controlled by this. I'm at choice here. Are y'all with me so far? So this day we're talking about stepping into your greatness. And stepping into your greatness is being yourself. But we need to know, what is the self that I'm being? Am I being the self, the conditioned self? Well, how you know if you're being a conditioned self? If something's pissing you off, you're in your conditioned state. If you're feeling lack and limitation, that's your conditioned state. If you're feeling left out, that's a condition. If you're feeling more special than everybody else, that too is a conditioned state. Because in the state of wholeness, but Bob Marley said it best, your worst enemy could be your best friend, and your best friend could be your worst enemy. We are the authors of our lives. But life is not a spectator sport. You must participate to win here. You must be present. We must pay attention, and we have the opportunity to pay attention every time we feel our emotions being tweaked one way or the other. Every time we feel a judgment coming up. And what's a judgment look like? A judgment looks like my opinion about the way things are and about the way things are supposed to be. That, my friends, is a judgment. And we all have them. The trick is to not let the judgments have me. Now I'm a slave to this idea, and that's the thing, and I've been doing this thing recently, and it's just this is wearing me out. I don't know why, it's time, obviously. I talked about it last week, the negativity bias. I talked about it every day, the negativity bias. This negativity bias is messing up stuff. Because biologically, psychologically, chemically, I'm wired to notice the negative. Right? And my confirmation bias, it's now going to confirm. It's only looking for stuff that I've already noticed. Filtering out everything that doesn't agree with this. So I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper down a rabbit hole I don't want to be in. But I don't know how to get out because the hole only goes down. It only goes down. You can't dig yourself out of a hole. You have the wrong tool. If that's what you're trying to do. And here's the work. It's easy. You don't have to climb out the hole either. Once you realize you're going down the wrong rabbit hole, say, this is not where I want to be. This is what consciousness can do. This is the gift of paying attention. Well, what do I really want now? Because I've been manifesting what I don't want with a clearing accuracy. That's what came to me, okay? Immediate accuracy. I'm really good at this. The problem is I'm not happy with what I'm good at. So what do I really want? That's the question. There's a little nurse, not a nurse, a fairy tale about the Green Knight. I won't tell you the whole thing. You have to come back next week for that. But this is a thing where King Arthur's life is saved. Some old woman saves his life. Her condition is that he's going to have to marry her to get his life saved. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go there. But the question, you may have heard this question before, what do women want, is asked in this fairy tale. Because he's trying to satisfy her. And he keeps coming up with all these things. She's like, no, 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 no. So you smile. And it's so simple. What do women want? They want to make up their own minds. Same thing men want. You don't have to wonder what anybody else wants. What do you want? Everybody wants the same thing you want, love, peace, and happiness. Everybody wants to feel wanted and loved and nurtured and protected. But if I'm not giving myself that gift, then I'm bereft of ability and opportunity to give it elsewhere. And that's when my fears and my angers and my lack and limitation are open and susceptible to additional programming. What they say in school and military, remedial training. Going back to the basics. So we have to pay attention to the emergent consciousness of wholeness, of oneness, the unity of all of life, that what's in it for me is all beingness. That's what's in it for me. The realization that Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker had a destiny, that the emperor was necessary, that without Judas, Jesus has no ministry, that the person who's standing in my way is probably the oracle to my transformation. But I have to approach the oracle properly, with the proper respect, with the understanding of what it is based on who I am. And everybody in your life is here to bless you and serve you when you're in the world to bless and serve everybody else. It's reciprocity, people. It's the law of the universe. It's the law of God. It happens all day. You're already using it. Am I in the right room? You're going to be asked every day, all day long, to pick a side, to pick a team, to decide who's right and wrong. It doesn't have to be politics. It could be family dramas. It could be relationship. It could be colors. It could be anything. And you know what's the most powerful thing you can say? At least one of the most powerful things you can say. I'm not going to say I have the most powerful thing. Okay. So you go right there. See how it just sneaks in. I don't know. I don't know, I was taught, is a complete answer. See, the ego believes it's supposed to know. It needs to know. It has to know. That's how it exerts control. But there is no need for certainty in life when we know who we are. What I'm certain of is that I'm led, guided, and directed, and if I wasn't supposed to be here, I wouldn't be here. What I know is I'm led, guided, and directed, and if I need to get out of here, then I'm going to get out of here. What I know is I'm led, guided, and directed, and if I need to be safe, then safety is here for me. What I know is I'm only going to leave here at my appointed time, and I'm not here to do any undue suffering. So I am blessing the world with every breath and every heartbeat and saying, I love you, God bless you. My favorite affirmation every day, people who know me know what I say all of the time. It's from Dickens, Charles Dickens, The Christmas Story. That's how stupid and nerdy I get about this. Tiny Tim, what did Tiny Tim say?
God bless us,
God
everyone.
bless us, not everyone. I went back. He doesn't say God bless us, everyone. He says, God bless us, everyone. Not everyone, every one of us. In case people don't know who everyone is. Sometimes everyone just means my people. Yes? He's saying, God bless us, everyone. Be a blessing to the world and reciprocate the blessing to yourself. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Well, I'm unfurled and unmasked. And you make the people around you miserable when you hide because they can see your greatness. But you're not delivering greatness. You're delivering hiding. It's frustrating for everybody involved. So, we're coming to our time of sharing. It's another time we like to hide because we don't want people messing with our money. It's sacred, and we keep it because we believe in scarcity. I don't have enough, so I'm not sharing with anybody. But it's called currency for a reason. It's called currency because it's supposed to stay in motion. People who are making it, they're keeping it moving, they're keeping it busy. And you know what? We increase our consciousness of abundance as we increase our idea of circulation. That's a spiritual principle. This is not about tithing. This is about the law of circulation. However, please know that every gift, your tithes, your offerings, your gifts, are used to further this idea of consciousness, of peace throughout the realm, by peace within ourselves. Of course, we have things, repairs and things we do around here, but it's local and it's global and it's appreciated. So please repeat after me. We have a prosperity affirmation to ground us in this principle and practice. From a consciousness of abundance
From a consciousness of abundance
and centered in gratitude,
and centered in gratitude,
I generously give.
I generously give.
I accept the gifts
I accept the gifts
of prosperity and abundance
of prosperity and abundance
as I demonstrate divine circulation in my life.
as I demonstrate divine circulation in my life.
In gratitude, I freely give.
In gratitude, I freely give.
In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
In joyful acceptance, I freely receive.
Thank you.
And so it is, if you're giving online, thanks, it's PayPal and Zelle, and the address is give@sfcsl.org. Thank you. I am remembering who I am.
I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. Giving thanks and praise for the offering received. We allow this circulation to affect all of life, all circumstances and all situations, knowing that each of us is a difference maker and every action we do is making a difference. That's what it is.
Wada, can you share your number 2 microphone until we figure out what's going on.
Oh,
Thanks.
well, since you asked me so nicely, and Cindy's such a wonderful
We can
person.
no longer be number ones.
You know what's really going on here? I'm going to tell you, conscious is cause. Cindy likes the number 1 mic. I've been only using it for 30 years.
And he doesn't want to share it.
It's not blank.
No, he's very good at sharing
I'm
it.
very good, but it's like the mic is confused.
So I'm going to sit down. My knees are a little bit sore, but I am going to do our spiritual mind treatment I'm going to cover Reverend Mwada's shoes so they don't show up on video. So the spiritual mind treatment, it's a 5-step prayer, affirmative prayer. And so I'm going to, as I'm doing it, just outline each step. And so recognition, recognizing that there is one power, one source, one creator behind all things. It is God, it is whatever name resonates. It is in all things. It is the divine expression that came through Reverend Mwada. It is the word vulnerability. It is the word authentic self. It is all things physical, the very chair that is sat upon. It is all things living. The very person you're sitting next to is an individualized expression of God. Nothing can be without God. God is the intelligence. It is the creator. And so knowing that there's this unification, that there's this oneness with it, there's no separation. I am a creation of God. Therefore, I am God expressing. As each individualized expression sits right now in this sacred sanctuary, each one is an individualized expression of God in its own uniqueness, its own glory, its own loving way, its own quirkiness. And so knowing this, I am realizing, and when I say I, that I is for all. I am realizing that God is always expressing, and that I, that human side, needs to step out of the way and be strong in being vulnerable. And so I am claiming that strength of vulnerability so that I can express authentic self, so that I can have a release of ego, a taking off of the mask, and just being the divine self that I am. I am letting go of a desire, a need to control, to determine the outcome, to control, to get to that outcome. And instead, I am standing steadfast in trust of letting go and letting God, knowing that that outcome that is expressing is the highest and best good of God. There is no need to control it. There is only a desire, a need to imagine it, to think it, to desire it, and then know that that outcome will come to fruition as it is supposed to be. And as it is coming to fruition, and I am being vulnerable and letting go of control of it, that I am safe and protected. There is no harm, because God is safety, God is protection all times. I am also realizing that there is no evil or negativity. They're just counterparts. And they're just the words that are human that are used. Good versus bad, good versus evil. It's a way to enlighten and evolve into the highest good. It's a way to get messages, to define things as we're moving into enlightenment. It's all choice. And so I am releasing those words, evil and negativity, and knowing that they serve a purpose. They serve a purpose in getting to these outcomes, this highest and best good. And so just take this in for a minute. Just take it in, what it feels like to let go of control, to let go of ego, to having to be right, to defend oneself. Take in what it feels like to be humble, to have humility. It is uncomfortable, but I am knowing that I am safe and protected and no harm comes to me. It's in that vulnerability that I find strength. It is in that vulnerability that God expresses in all its mightiness, all its power. Because all barriers have been dissolved, and the mind of this self is merged with divine mind. And so the only outcome is perfect whole and completeness. And so I give gratitude. I give gratitude for this willingness to release the fear of being vulnerable. I give gratitude in the strength and the protection and the safety that I know is there when I am vulnerable, when I am being truly authentic. And so I'm releasing this authenticity into this God energy. I am releasing this knowingness of protection and safety as I walk through the world, ego dropping, as I walk through the world with humility and knowing that the highest and best good is is unfolding and expressing right here, right now, because of this release of the barriers. And so knowing this with absolute faith and trust in God and trust in self, because I am of God, I release my word into the law of God and say, and so it is. Okay, thank you.
I love how you said it. Did you say ego dropping?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great phrase that just came through, because I'm thinking of like name dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? Who are you? But ego dropping, what a great little phrase to carry with you.
It gets in the way of a lot of things.
When you feel it coming up, just drop it. Thanks. Well, this is the weekly mantra we all sing. favorite pieces from 20 years ago. It's like,
Mhm.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. I see you smiling. It makes you smile, doesn't it? You say, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you, John. So I'm going to go into announcements right now. Knowing that we are all blessed and giving a blessing to all of you as you go out into this world and you practice the ego dropping and the being vulnerable and trusting in God. So I also like to give some gratitude, thank Reverend Muada, as always, for his powerful Sunday talk. I'm always over there taking notes. If it looks like I'm not paying attention, I am. I'm writing down divine wisdom. To Pierre Angeli, who is holding vigil for us, and for Gabriella, who did our morning meditation, and to Ellie, who's doing our technology, thank you. And to John, of course, for all the beautiful music you provide every Sunday. And just to all of you for showing up and everything that you give to this center, through, whether it be monetary or just through labor. I know the Brunos just had a garden beautification Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago.
They also painted, finishing the mural before the rain.
Oh, thank you.
And for our neighbor Patrick Murphy, who cleared away a lot of the ivy for a very low price, and so they worked together.
If you get it, well, I know it's raining, but if you get a chance when it's not and you're here, go see the garden if you haven't. It's absolutely beautiful. So I just want to share some announcements. Daniel, since you're here, is boxing starting up again?
Yeah, boxing classes for fitness and fun and skill and technique and all things fundamental to whooping someone's butt. Happen Tuesdays, 8 a.m. here, and start Saturdays again this coming Saturday,
Oh, wow.
10 o'clock.
Okay.
No experience, nothing necessary, just an open mind, positive attitude.
And these announcements that I'm sharing, if you can't remember anything, just go to our newsletter. And if you don't receive our newsletter, there is a sign up in the back. We do have core conversations, and that's going to happen
Today?
on April 22nd, and that'll be at 1:15.
It's the second
Oh, is
Sunday.
today the 2nd?
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at me. I already I'm totally forgetting today. I'm going to the 4th Tuesday. Also today at 1:15 with Daniel, if you want to stay for core conversation, get a little bite to eat and bring it back here. Our next fellowship Sunday will be on May 3rd. That's when we come together and we all do a potluck and share. Shambhala meditation is the 3rd. It's going to be the 3rd Saturday, April 18th, 9 to 10:30. So it's this coming Saturday. It'll be 9 to 10:30 a.m. And then on Fridays we have NA.
I thought
And then
Shambhala, met on Wednesday, but I'm not
it's
sure.
it's only on certain Wednesdays according
not
to the
every week.
newsletter. So
Sorry.
when I looked it up, the next one is this Saturday, April 18th.
Thank you.
Yes, and I have 2 more announcements, and these have to do with some of our members. So the first one is Saturday, April 25th. Crystal Brown is going to be singing at the 13th Contemporary Performance Diaspora Festival, and it's in Berkeley, and it is I don't see the time, but it's in our newsletter, and there is a link to get info and tickets. If you're able to go and support her, that would be wonderful. She's a wonderful singer. And then Sunday, April 26th, our very own John Steiner is going to be presenting music. Do you want to talk a little? That's your thing. You want to talk a little bit about it?
About it. Well, the Brunos have been there. Milana was here last time. Daniel Berkman and I have worked together for 25 years, and we're doing. It's just all very, very kind of healing music, energizing. Many different instruments, and it's free. Donations accepted. It's in the newsletter. It's on the 26th at 5:30 in the evening, so 2 weeks from tonight. And it's in San Anselmo, so it's there. If you want more information, I have the flyer on my phone. But so yeah, it's up there. So but it's going to be. It's a beautiful chapel. It's round, and it has like a. It's almost like it's built in the 19th century as a reverb chamber. In a good way, not so for certain types of music. It's just like talk about the spirit world. I mean, we'll be like living in that world for an hour. So yeah, and it's anyway. Unless the Brunos want to say something about, or Reverend Milana was here when we did it here. They were here too. Oh, thank you. Let's go and listen. Thank you. And we also play the room. We're going to do a little improvising. A lot of the improvising goes on, but I like the expression play the room because it's like play with the spirit of whoever's there. And you never know what's going to come through spirit, right? So like Milana was saying earlier, it's not necessarily linear. It's sort of, we get out of that linear world. Drop ego drop.
Ego dropping, that's our new word.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to, if anybody wants prayer after service, Pierre Angeli, Reverend Milana, and I are available. It's usually like a 5-minute prayer to just realign you for the week. And then if you want a more in-depth prayer, you can email at prayer at sfcsl.org, and that's on the newsletter as well. So I am now going to turn it over. Are you doing another song?
I think we're going to the benediction.
Okay. So Reverend Milana is going to do our benediction, and I'm going to turn this over to him.
It's,
Even though I don't want to.
Mic exchange.
But I win.
That's really crazy.
Number 2. Number 2 works.
We're gonna have to work these out in the week, so we don't get surprised again.
We will get it together.
No, we have it together.
It may be time for a new
Together,
one.
we acknowledging that we have a mic that's broken, so we're in the game. I'm always looking for a way, you know. How can I spin this for my benefit?
Yes.
You know, because I've God likes sharing. I like that. I like that. And so, you know, I guess the thing that I guess the epilogue is. Always, as I talk about going back and forth, the question is really always, how can I be better? How can I be more? How can I love more? How can I give more? How can I be better? And these questions short circuit that ego-driven space where I need control, because asking for more is already telling the ego, step back. Okay? You're not right. I want to be more than what you've given me. I need more than who you are. It knows. It doesn't really want to be in charge. It's just conditioned to be. And I'm going to say this too. When you do this long enough, your ego stops wanting to be in charge. It only wants your good for you. And you've given it the job of going out there and procuring that. But once the spiritual development increases to the place where your manifestation from the spirit realm is equal to or more than from ego realm, the ego sits down.
because it doesn't want to mess up the success of what's already working. It's like, okay, I can rest now and do what I'm designed to do. So as you leave here today, we're leaving here converting our negativity bias and our confirmation bias into a possibility bias, into a what is, if possible, what is possible bias, so that everywhere we look, we're looking for a greater expression of ourselves and that thing, knowing that there's always more because God is greater than any circumstance, and we are one with that greatness. So it's from this place that I'm speaking my word. It's from this place that I'm affirming that as we leave here, and please repeat after me, the light of God surrounds me.
The light of God surrounds
The love of God enfolds me.
The love of God enfolds me.
The power of God protects and watches over me.
The power of God protects and watches over me.
The wisdom of God guides and directs me. The substance of God supplies, supports, and sustains me.
Supplies, supports, and sustains.
Wherever I am,
Wherever I am.
wherever I go, whatever I think, do, or say, God is, all is well, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's gather in a circle and sing our closing song, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes, and has its being. I